In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a change, a significant shift in federal government policy that enabled a great amount of competition, and that enabled a proliferation of for-profit providers to move into the settlement sector. And that was a huge shock, I think, to those of us in the sector. But I believe that migrant resource centres at that time, and others in the settlement sector, responded very visionary and with a pragmatic approach.
The migrant resource centres themselves originated from the early 80s after the Ability report that strongly recommended that we need to respond to the needs of migrants because we had a large migrant intake and they weren't able to access services equitably.
We also have a number of apologies that I'd like to read to you.
It was a really exciting and challenging time for a whole lot of us. It was the first time that we were able to think about a way of making a collective impact in the community.
There was a belief in the sector that the model and the foundations of migrant resource centres, which is the values of being client-driven, being locally and community-based, the client having a voice.
We had a vision to make sure that multicultural services and programs going forward were going to be able to remain competitive and relevant. So we came together as a group of migrant resource centres to ensure that we had a vehicle to actually deliver large-scale services and programs.
There were people committed. If we're not people committed to the area of migrant refugee, I don't think we would have pulled it together.
And so we thought we would, as a collective, form the Migrant Resource Centre Association.
Organisations like this are important because they help all of us invest a little bit into each and every one of you so that you can make a difference.
I think the really strong point around the way that we delivered services was the care, the compassion, the commitment and the accountability that we brought to the work. We recruited people that had a strong background in working with people who had migrated to Australia.
As the refugees came, we started to grow a little bit more, being able to put in systems in place.
And it was successful in providing humanitarian settlement services from the year 2000 onwards.
5 years later, we lost the HSS contract.
We were obviously devastated. We had changed our name to Settlement Services International, which is a big name and aspirations that are huge.
I remember sitting around a table and we had Pino Migliorino facilitating the discussion, and it really was about the future of SSI and if there was a future for it. So those around the table said, no, we won't close SSI. We are going to move forward. We are going to have a vision and a plan, and we're going to apply for that tender when it comes up in 5 years' time. What we did was create the Connect Australia Foundation.
The beauty of the foundation, I think, is that it's an opportunity for us to really look outside the square, to do projects that were innovative and also support individual refugees in a manner that isn't available.
I'll never forget the wonderful phone call to tell us that we had been successful and had been awarded the Humanitarian Settlement Services tender. Now, that was an extraordinary feeling, hearing that, because it had been the culmination of 5 years of waiting and knowing that we had an important role to play in the area of humanitarian settlement and that we were best placed to do it.
The vision was to build a very robust organisation that was able to make a real impact in the community. And I'm not sure that anybody would envisage that SSI would grow as quickly as what we have. But I think now we have an agency that is able to provide a broad range of services in the community.
The fact that the organisation is able and has managed to develop a suite of services and a range of services, its presence, its relationship with its members means that it's not only has the Humanitarian Settlement Services, which remain the cornerstone of SSI, but the fact that it can provide disability support services, it has that legal aid partnership, it now has a community housing arm development and strategy, which will also complement the services of the members. It's actually able also to value add for the clients of our members.
SSI over the last 15 years has moved into areas that I believe many of us could not even have imagined that we would have moved into.
It actually understands how people are living their lives and what are the issues they are living through, and it's for that reason then it's able to both compete and position itself as a significant service provider to those groups. That's what this organisation has, the ability to understand the impact of culture and language on both where people live, how they live and what they actually need.
Building migrant communities, festivals, places they could go to where they felt comfortable, and also to be able to practice and maintain their own culture.
Community Kitchen is a wonderful project to bring people together. It's also a great place for clients to showcase their talents, to build rapport with all the staff and just feel just generally happy.
Food actually brings a lot of people together. It's a great opportunity to interact with our clients in a kind of informal setting.
Many of our staff are from non-English speaking background also, so there's a lot of affinity because as a migrant you've experienced similar things and you want to help other people to make it just that little bit easier.
I came to Australia as a refugee in 2011. I was in detention centres, both in Christmas Island and Darwin for almost a year. I came straight to Sydney, met by SSI staff. They actually assisted me to find accommodation and to find my way. So I totally understand at different stage of settlement what are the needs and how can I assist them in order to get settled more easily and more smoothly.
Without the support and the infrastructure and the funding of the MRCs, there is no way that SSI could have done what it did. We took care of our clients and our people, and it was done in a wonderful partnership.
Now I think increasingly we all realize how important it is for us to work together, because as individual migrant resource centres or service providers, we may not exist in future if we went alone. So to keep ourselves relevant, I think we've got the benefit of a large organisation, and at the same time we continue to maintain our relationship at the grassroots with grassroots community organisations.
I guess for me what sets us apart is that we are delivering multicultural programs and we're multicultural organisations delivering those programs. So our member organisations are embedded in their local community. They're managed by people from diverse backgrounds.
I suppose such organisations like SSI really important to help people to achieve their goals. I just wanted to be successful, but I just needed someone to help me or something just to push me or inspire me, And here's my question. If there is no SSI or such organisation like SSI, how would I be directed in the right path to achieve my goals?
The reality in Australian politics is the advocacy out of ethnic communities is almost non-existent. We need organisations like SSI who are going to be the substantial advocates of what can be done and model what is best practice.
We would like to be able to move into the area of providing information, advice, consultancy, both locally and internationally, for people that are doing similar work to ourselves that want to grow as well. Working within the values that we have, the capacity that we have, the future is what we want to make of it.
I believe that SSI will play a very important role in continuing to assist in building strong and diverse communities in Australia.